why did Arthur Lee Allen become prominent again in 1989?
Well, we had a couple of reasons. Primary was that a guy named Ralph Spinelli came forward, and Ralph Spinelli, I knew him well. He was about my age and a small-time crook from Vallejo.
In 1967, 68, 69, I owned a couple of nightclubs in Solano County, California, one in Vallejo and one in Fairfield, California. And I owned a piece of one in Anchorage, Alaska, and I was busy. And the one in Fairfield, California it was a gold mine while it existed. It was called the Crazy Horse Saloon.
Spinelli had various and sundry other problems with law enforcement, and he came forward. He had been arrested in 89 or 90 by San Jose Police Department and Santa Clara Sheriff's Department for doing armed robberies of restaurants up in the Santa Clara, San Jose area, and was facing, I think, 9 charges of robbery. And he through his attorney, indicated that he could solve the Zodiac case.
I was also involved in criminal activity at the time, and was getting some unfavorable press. And I'm not proud of that. It's just, I'm telling you the way it was. One night at the Crazy Horse Saloon, I was in my office, and the guy on the door got me on the intercom into my office. Said, "There's some guy out here who wants to see you." And yeah, is he a cop? And no, I don't think so. He's just some guy. I said, "Okay, tell him I'll be there in a few minutes." And a few minutes later, I went out, and the guy on the door pointed to the guy that wanted to see me. I went over to him, and I said, "Ralph Spinelli, you want to see me?" He says, "Yeah, I'm Leigh Allen." And I looked at him, just blank, and said, "Help me out here, Leigh. Who are you?" He reminded me of the incident back in 1958. And I had completely forgotten about it. I mean, that was just no longer existed in my mind. But, okay, now what? Well, can we talk? I want to talk. And so we stepped outside into the parking lot. And, he expressed his gratitude that we never filed charges against him in 1958, and how solid and stand-up guys he thought we were, for not doing that, and he understood where we were coming from. Those kinds of comments that I thought, oh, okay, this guy's off the wall. I mean, what's up? And okay, Leigh, I'm really kind of busy. What is it that you want? Well, something to the effect, and I can only paraphrase now, but certainly the gist of the conversation, and this is what he had to say to me, was, I can provide a service for your friends, and then take the heat off of you guys. And what are you talking about? Well, I could, there's things I could do up to and including killing someone. My initial reaction to that was the police had sent him there and that he was wired.
In my heart of hearts, I believe Arthur Lee Allen is too smart to do that. Ralph Spinelli was too much of a punk, and Arthur Lee Allen would look at him and think, but this guy's going to burn me down the road,
Leigh said he was going to kill people for money, that he was going to get a contract, and he was going to do a murder. He was in discussion with a mafia-type guy that might give him a contract.
I said, look, you sound like you're Looney Tunes to me. I don't want anything to do with you. None of my friends want anything to do with you. Don't know you, and don't even know if you're capable of such a thing, and can't figure out why you're in here proposing this to me. He said, I'm Zodiac. And he didn't say, I'm the Zodiac. He said, I'm Zodiac. I can kill these people, and I can kill people and take credit for it. And I said, you must be absolutely insane. And then he said, I will prove I'm telling you the truth. I'll kill someone in San Francisco and you'll know it's me.
He mentioned something like that briefly about Agatha Christie book that had a plan in it. He didn't mention it by name. Later I read the book and I recognized Leigh's modus operandi in that little book. And it was the ABC murders. It was do some random killings and place your contract killing in with them so that it looked like it was one of the random killings.
After Paul Stine, he came to see me again with, I told you, you believe me now. And my response was, I do believe you now. And now you better really get away from me. And I let it go, and that was it.
Don Fouts, one of the two officers that were near the scene of the Paul Stine killing. I showed him the photo lineup and ultimately the picture of, he wasn't able to identify Arthur Lee Allen.
I went to Vallejo Police Department. Mr. Bauer put out a photo spread, and it gave me the impression that Leigh Allen was the person that he thought was the Zodiac. This person outweighed the person that I saw that night by about 100 pounds, I would estimate, just an estimate, which took him out. His face, even though it's round, was too round. I don't recall him showing me a photograph of a profile that he says he did of Arthur Allen, but Zodiac had a widow's peak, hair coming in the center more and receding on both sides of the forehead. I don't know if that's the proper term for it, but that's what my parents used to call it. That was my impression at the time, is that it was not Leigh Allen.